10XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Man, y'all know what time it is. T-Law got the eyes of Lee Van Cleef when he go in that field.
Checks it down underneath. That's a crossing route to Christian Kirk. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Christian Kirk to the goal line. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
They made a major mistake when they made T-Law go to the spirit of the sky, to the oracle of the saber-toothed tiger, and the saber-toothed tiger now has the scepter in his hand, and he been to put every critic to rest. Man, last night I done marinated 2 turkeys. I got my cherry wood getting ready for my smoker. Just got off from work, off Pritchard Roll. I'm going to bake me 2 Cornish hens. My special recipe, I call it the Mediterranean Cornish hen. I'm going to top it off with my homemade Long Island iced tea. And I'm only going to top it off with 1 red top of Coca-Cola. The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever. Duval!
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in to Jaguars Today. Dylan Denmark, I don't know if you're just trying to harken back to happier times or you're twisting the knife there. We have no T-Law. We have no Christian Kirk. We have none of these things.
We do have a Maxwell House.
We do have some Maxwell House, right?
Yes.
It's available if you're a purveyor of the coffees. This is true. And I do have 1 red top of Coca-Cola available if I need it to top off my Long Island iced tea. There you go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tony Smith.
Good morning.
How are things?
All good.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad things are all good in your life.
Yeah.
Right? Why let the football team we care about bring us down?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And their trials and travails.
I've been around this long enough. They aren't allowed to hurt me.
They can hurt me in the moment.
I can still get upset in moments with things that are going on within the franchise, but I'm not carrying that around like an anchor. No.
I really don't carry much of any of that around anymore. Like, sports. Like, I care. I want it to do well. I have more angst for, the longtime season ticket holders than I do for myself.
100%.
My life's fantastic. I love my life. Wish the Jags were better. If they're
And
not,
I
I'm
hope
going to keep showing
every
up.
single one of you who have that kind of stuff going on, that you have somewhere you can take off that weight and get to whatever you're actually doing in your life.
And I get it, man. I've been that guy. I've been that person who, I'll never forget back in high school, my mom's like, "Are you betting on these games?" With what money, Mom? Like, really? I mean, where
Did
do
you find
think
a bookie
I'm getting
back
any
then?
cash? I don't know. I mean,
You were so into it, she was concerned.
I would get so upset about the outcome of a game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying I don't still in the moment do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I let plenty of F-bombs fly, but,
It's not
I get
that
over
long.
a lot more
It's not that
quickly.
long ago that I've been in a place where I moved stuff out of the room that I was in case I might get angry enough to throw it, right? It's like that could happen. Like, I know I'm emotionally attached to the result of this in particular that I'm about to watch enough that I don't need anything near me that I could throw at the TV, right? Like, I don't need any. I've been in those kind of spaces. I'm matured, right? Like, I don't have to worry.
What's the worst thing y'all have done when you've gotten mad at a game? Like punched a hole in the wall, broke a remote?
I broke a lamp when I was like throwing my fist in the air. It broke and I got a big shard of glass between 2 knuckles. That was not great.
I didn't do anything like that, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever really – I've never been a big breaker of things.
I wasn't swinging at the lamp. I was just swinging my fist in the air, and it happened to hit the lamp.
No,
I
get it. I get it. But, I don't know. I don't know what the worst thing I've ever done. Probably just make everyone around me miserable for a period of time. Because I was, little volcanic temper action going.
Whatever it was, I did it to myself. I wasn't attacking the people around me. That's never been my thing. But
I would, but I just wasn't strong enough to make an impact. Dylan, who's not making it into work today? Anybody? Did you get the word early today on anybody not going to make it into work?
Nah, what are you talking about?
Didn't somebody call you at 4 a.m?
Oh,
We just talked about this like 3 minutes ago. We literally just talked about this, Tony. Well, I just asked who's not making it into work. This seemed to be a topic.
Apparently somebody is. I'm dead sleep. 4:05 in the morning, I get a call, a 904 number. I'm like, it's too early for a spam call. It's 4 in the morning. Click. I put it on silent. About 15 minutes later, phone rings again. Same number. I missed it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call this person back. Let's see what's up. I call him back, and they're like, hey, this Ralphie, so-and-so's not gonna make it work today. I'm like, huh? Yeah, so-and-so's not gonna make it to work today. I go, you got the wrong number, boss. And
Do I stutter? It's Ralphie. You should have just been like, all right, man, thanks for checking in.
If it were like,
I'll leave a note.
If it were 9 o'clock, I would have went along with it. I'd be like, what should we do? And I would have a conversation, and I would try to figure out the problem. But nah, man, I had one eyeball open. I wasn't properly working at that time.
Well, I guess that would have to be like, who answers their phone when they don't know who's calling anymore? Do you?
No.
Right.
Nah,
and I don't know. Like, I don't know how they come up with, like, I get a lot of, it says spam likely on there. Like, is this Isaiah's brother? I don't know who, but how do they know what that is? But if I just see a number that I don't know what it is, it can ring all day, man. And I might get to checking my voicemail next month. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All right. So
there's the voicemail.
If I got you in my phone, I'll answer the call.
Yeah.
Or I won't. But at least I'll know I'm not answering.
Or I'll check that voicemail too. Yeah.
That's why I like the text, because if somebody's texting you about your property or something, I'll have an interaction with them about the property that I don't have that they're interested in. And we go back and forth. Usually go about 2 days.
It's kind of fun, right?
And then, I give them an offer, and then they don't reply, which is kind of rude.
You lowballed them. That's probably what it was. You probably lowballed them.
Whatever.
I mean, they were insulted. And I told you many times my number used to be one number off of the Domino's Pizza location in St. Augustine. And it was the number at the time. You can call it if you want, because it's not mine anymore. I don't care. It was 824. My number was 824-824-8. So you just kept dialing 824, right? 824-824-8. And Domino's was 824-824-0, which is right below the 8 on the push button phone. And so we, not all the time, probably got a half dozen calls over the years.
Yeah.
Domino's? Is Domino's?
Did you go Kramer with movie phone on it? At least tempted once?
No, I probably took about 3 orders over the years. I probably did. And, most of the time I'd be like, nah, it's the wrong number, man. So, I'm sorry. It's all good. It's all good. But what do you want on your pizza? Now that you got me, I'll hook you up. All right. Today, Tony. Oh, they're big mad with the question of the day today. They're not happy. More people saying they're refusing to respond, refusing to vote in our Jaguars Today poll than at any time. Although, I will say, we have a pretty robust amount of votes considering we posted this an hour ago. Literally an hour ago, and we got 330 votes on it already. So for everyone not voting, there's plenty of people who are voting on this. We told you yesterday it's going to be a doozy, okay? By the way, all the disclaimers in the world you can put on there, no matter who you vote for. I'm not saying you think they should have job security, okay?
Yeah.
It's just a simple question.
Yep.
Relative comparison of the Jacksonville Jaguars head honchos this year, not including Shad Khan. We could have done the Shad Khan version of this, by the way. We could have done Shad Khan, Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, and a fourth if you wanted to. But the question is, which of these members of the Jacksonville Jaguars organization has done the best job in 2024, just for this year, 2024 calendar year, who has done the best job for the Jags? Is it general manager Trent Baalke? Is it head coach Doug Peterson? Is it offensive coordinator Press Taylor? Or is it defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen?
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, wow. Murderer's row right there. Heath Farwell would have won this thing going away. There is no option. Where's the option for none of the above? That's the point. We're trying to make you pick between some less than attractive options, right? It's a matter of relativity. Who is less to blame? I'm not saying, as somebody said, they voted and they said, a vote for Trent Baalke is not an endorsement for him to keep his job. Nor do I claim that. I'm just curious what people think. Where does the blame lie? And tomorrow, we'll ask the opposite of this. I don't know if we'll get the exact opposite results because sometimes, back in the day, Tome, Howard Cosell used to win most liked and least liked sportscaster.
Sure.
Every year when they'd run those kind of polls, and I don't know who would do those polls. It wasn't like an official thing, but you'd see a poll on that kind of thing. And he was polarizing. No pun intended, right? Howard Stern, same thing. Favorite radio personality, least favorite radio personality. Howard Stern. Love him or hate him. Draws a lot of opinions. So today, we're not asking you to marry these people. We're not asking you to advocate for them sticking around any longer than you want them to. We're just asking, just in a relative comparison, who you think has done the best this year. Tomorrow we'll ask who you think has done the worst. And I don't know if it will necessarily reflect, I don't think we can just flip the poll upside down and go, well, this guy got the fewest votes for best. He's going to get the most votes for worst. It may work that way, but
I doubt
I'm
it.
not convinced it will tomorrow. But I didn't want to bury the second poll because a lot of times we put two out in one day, and the second one, for whatever reason, not as many people see it or not as many people respond to it, no matter what the question is. So I wanted to give this its own 24 hours to percolate out there. Posted it at 9:04 a.m. Hope you took note of that. And we'll post tomorrow's at 9:04 a.m. as well on the other side of the coin. By the way, I don't know how many people are doing this. Are you on what social media are you on?
Twitter.
That's it? No Facebook?
No, I have a Facebook, but I was telling Pockets, I check it less than once a year.
I have a Facebook. Every once in a while, I'll get a pop-up in the corner of my screen at home, and it'll say something about so-and-so commented on something or whatever. And I'm like, that looks interesting. Let me look at that.
I use Twitter for work. That's it.
I use Twitter for work and news, right? Yeah. Facebook, the last time I posted, a high school friend of mine died. I think I posted like a picture of a bunch of us high school friends together. And it's been a couple years. It's just, I don't use it that much. And it's fine. If you like it, fine. I'm not knocking it down.
I've said it for years, and I mean it. If I wasn't doing this job, I wouldn't have any of it. I don't even know if I'd keep my Twitter profile if I didn't have this job.
Well, I joined Mastodon, right? I think I posted on there once.
What's that?
It's another one of these sites. Same thing. It's the same kind of idea. It's like, got their picture is an elephant instead of a little bird. Right?
Makes sense if it's a mastodon.
It would make sense that they use a picture of a mastodon. So I was hoping they'd go with a lion, but didn't work out. So anyway, I think I posted once. I couldn't tell you what my login credential is. Probably saved on my home computer.
Sure.
But I see a lot of people posting about going to Blue Sky or adding Blue Sky. So I decided to add a Blue Sky profile yesterday. I'm not leaving Twitter. I'm just want to see what kind of the engagement is like over there and what the reach is. I'll say one thing on Blue Sky. Can't post a poll on Blue Sky. So that's a little annoying. Yeah. And so more people just feel free to vote none of the above over there. But on Blue Sky, if you're on Blue Sky, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just go into Google and put Blue Sky Social, and it'll bring it up for you. But one of the reasons I decided to create the account, I wanted to see if I could get my name. Like when I finally, Donald's like, you should be on this Twitter thing. I'm like, what the hell's Twitter? This is back in 2009. Right, I remember because Twitter came out, I think, in 2007.
Something in there, yeah.
And so it'd been around, and I'm like, I couldn't figure out how it worked for, I don't know, a while. Didn't post anything. Donna would post occasionally. Donna had a great handle. Hers was The Football Show.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. She should have sold that thing, man. She just gave it up. Like, there are so many outlets that would want The Football Show as their Twitter handle, and she had it for a long time. But anyway. So I picked what I picked at the time. I threw my initials in there. I threw 1010XL in there. This one I just got Mike Dempsey. So all you other Mike Dempseys out there, there are a lot of them. There's a whole Facebook group of Mike Dempseys out there. I can only imagine how many Tony Smiths there might be.
Tony Smith, son of John and Mary.
So, Tony Smith, son of John and Mary, 3781.
Yeah.
Right? At the end, yeah. Could I be more in the witness protection program than I am already? So we got today is going to be fun. We're going to try to play a little bit like legal team for each of these fine gentlemen, Balky, Peterson, Taylor, and Nielsen. And I ranked them not. Usually I try to put it by last name, alphabetically. This was, general manager to head coach, OCDC, didn't really matter. So just they're all in there, not trying to sway anybody's vote. Vote for who you like or don't vote if you don't want to. But we're going to take each of these people and we're going to try to make a bullet point or two for this is why we think they've done the best job out of this quartet. That doesn't mean they've done the best job. Heath Farwell's like, man, put me in a poll, man. Come on. Heath Farwell would get 100% of the vote out here, right? I mean, the Jags special teams have been really, really good this year. I just saw, among other things, third in the league in punt return average this year for the Jags. You know, that's nice. They had the one turnover.
Help, yeah.
Had the big turnover last week, but for the most part, they've been pretty good at not allowing big returns. They popped a few decent returns themselves, had the kickoff return for a touchdown. Punting has been outstanding. The kicking has been outstanding. Cam Little's missed one field goal this year. I mean, I don't know what else you want.
Yep.
You know, so you want wins. I get it, right? But I'm talking about specifically from Heath Farwell's area of the organization. So we're going to do that today. You can get in today, make your case for one of these guys, or grudgingly vote for one of these gentlemen here, if that's how you feel about it. Who has done the best? Balky, Peterson, Taylor, Nielsen. We'll save the other end of the coin for tomorrow because we try to be fair about these things. Also, got another, man, this has been a good last few weeks in terms of care packages coming in. Got this one from across the pond. I'm not going to hold this up because people are eagle-eyed. I'm not going to, well, I should hold it sideways so nobody can see the return address either. I don't want anybody seeing my address or Stoff's home address if they want to mess with him. Don't be swatting Stoff over there in the UK. But Stoff sent us some Jaguar merchandise that might be of interest to some in the listening audience, and we'll tell you what's in this thing when we open it up. On the other side, I know what's in here.
Yeah,
but
it's cool stuff.
It's gonna be fun to open that up, and I think there'll be an item or two in there that might make it to the Super Bowl swag bag this year, and we'll see how that all plays out. John Oehser will join us in the second hour today, so we're off and rolling. Give us your vote today, your Jaguars Today question of the day. Which of these members of the organization has done the best job in 2024? Is it Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, or Ryan Nielsen? Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. Johnny O in hour number 2. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. In case you missed it yesterday, I think this is very important. Awaken 180 has helped me lose weight, maintain that weight loss. Absolutely. But my health numbers, because of that weight loss, are in fantastic shape right now. My blood pressure is almost textbook perfect. It's not usually been the case in my life. My triglycerides, whatever they are, they're in the right range. I couldn't tell you what that range is, but they told me they were in a good range. My good cholesterol, my bad cholesterol, exactly where it was supposed to be or where they hoped to see it for a 55-year-old man. So, hey, Awaken 180 has a lot of fringe benefits along with just the sheer weight loss. Yeah, you look better. You have people complimenting you on how you look. You feel better about yourself. But you actually should feel better because you're going to be healthier if you drop those excess pounds, whether it's 10, 20, 50, 100 or more. Give Awaken 180 a call at 844-346-1800 or schedule your free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Take your shot at a weekly tailgate combo pack valued at $100 from Southern Steer Butcher.
And monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and collectible football.
It's the ultimate tailgate. Enter now at 1010XL.com.
Hey, gang, Prosser here. Telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Cyber threats don't take time outs. Protect your business with DoubleCheck Cybersecurity's AI-powered solutions. Get 24/7 defense and stop hackers before they score. Don't wait. Visit doublecheck.com to schedule your free security consultation today.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 2854-LAW. 2854-LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
It's It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida. It's Gwendolyn Beers.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? Oh, I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Pick an ear for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of About 9. Visit About 9 Associates today and experience the difference. About 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. There's nothing like the ambiance of a custom-built fireplace. The team at CSS can design and install the perfect setup, including wood, gas, and electric models, whether you want the elegance of an indoor fireplace or the warmth of an outdoor fire pit. You dream it, they build it. Visit their showroom or online at cssfireplaces.com.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Tone, we've made good use of the Trevor Lawrence hand-drawn artwork by Little Lily that we've kind of taken down the last couple weeks because Trevor's not playing right now. Out of sight, out of mind, right? It's not going anywhere, but it's used as a nice prop right now. If you're watching in the Jaguars YouTube channel room, whatever, you can see we've got some flags from the London game from the last couple of years. Stoffless Prime, if you're on Twitter, or maybe Blue Sky. I don't know if he's there. He is, very well-known Jaguar fan over there in the UK. He's got Jacksonville roots, and he sent us a care package. We have kind of a goods exchange across the Great Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Sent him a Victory Monday shirt. I got off cheap, although it wasn't cheap to send it, I'll tell you that. Like, man, one T-shirt going to the UK. Anyway, Stoff, nice enough. He gave us 3 flags from last year for each of the fellas here. He gave us 5 from this year's game. Last year's from the Atlanta game. Which one is this year's game? Is it the
New England
game? Okay, so a
the
win.
game we won.
That's good. We got the win.
The one on top.
But he sent us the highly coveted Jaguars scarf.
That thing is awesome.
It really is. Tony's got his eye on this, people. I can tell you this right now.
I don't know. It's for somebody else.
Tony's the
It is
scarf
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
He's the scarfer of scarves. But this is, if you haven't seen it, I know there was a lot of angst on Jaguars social media. Like, hey, man, I've been a season ticket holder since day one. I don't get one of these scarves. Why are you giving these? These are badass. It's basically a 30th anniversary scarf, 30 seasons. It's got the old logo, the new logo. It's got the leaping Jaguar in the middle. I'm going to sneeze, Tone.
It does. And it's, we don't want to open it all the way up because we don't want to take the top little thing that's holding it together off until we give it away.
Right.
So we can't completely show what the other side's going to look like, but it is awesome.
I wanted you to feel like, Dempsey didn't wear this around his greasy neck for an extended period of time. So, although I would be the type to leave that little plastic thing on there. Anyway, it is pretty cool, and that'll go in the Super Bowl swag bag with some other Jaguar finery this year. So there you have it, the big reveal. But we have been getting sent a lot of stuff that goes in there with the Jag coasters. Heck, we might as well throw a Victory Monday shirt in there right now because we're going to have some left over at this rate.
Yes, we will.
Some of the Sun Doesn't Set on Duval County. Got some of those still floating around. So, very Jaguar-centric swag bag this year is where things are headed. So, all right, let's begin the case.
Okay.
For these gentlemen. Who do you want to start with, Pockets? Let's let Pockets make the choice here.
Let's go Ryan Nielsen.
Ryan Nielsen. Okay, we want to make the case for why Ryan Nielsen has done the best job out of Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, and Press Taylor and himself, right? Taking the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, head coach, general manager. And by the way, Ryan Nielsen is pulling in 36% of this vote as having done the best job.
Tells you how they feel about some of these other candidates, but yes.
There's no question. It reminds me a little bit of Glenn Ross, which is a phenomenal movie, if you haven't seen it, which I think holds up over time. It's all about the dialogue in that movie. It all basically takes place in one room, right? And so they got the sales contest.
Yep, Nielsen's getting the steak knives.
Well, he's hoping, right? Because in that contest, first place is a Cadillac Eldorado.
Mm-hmm.
Second place, set of steak knives.
Mm-hmm.
Third place, you're fired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is more like fourth place, you're fired because, I'm just trying to stay out of the basement.
Sure.
I feel with a lot of this argument, I guess the case I would make for Ryan Nielsen or some of the points, and I'll let you add, and you and Dylan, please add to this. This week showed an ability to adjust his game plan. He's been very man-heavy and went to more of a zone scheme, very specific game plan to neutralize Justin Jefferson, was able to do that. If you're looking for a trend, well, the Jags played one of their best defensive games of the season, points-wise the best, still gave up 400 yards, but has been without Tyson Campbell for a good chunk of the season, has been without Foye Oluokun for a big chunk of this season. Again, remember, I'm trying to make the case here as his lawyer. Trayvon Walker continuing to develop, right? He's taken another good step forward. Looks like he's on pace to be, a 12 to 15 sack guy this year, potentially. So that's good as well. Young guy like Monteric Brown has played well this year. Hopefully this is a sign for Devin Lloyd that he's going to have better performances down the line. I'm running out of things, so I don't want to take anything that you may have.
I didn't even have a bunch of that on the list, but I don't think
I'm trying to be a lawyer here. I'm filibustering, Tony.
I'll say with the 4, Nielsen was the most difficult one for me to even come up with stuff. Like most of what I thought with Nielsen was he's too new here for me to be mad at him.
Oh, okay. There's one.
Like I'm not necessarily in the last one in, first one out kind of thing necessarily here, right? We're not running a union shop with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is what it is. It's all still too fresh with Nielsen for me to have a complete idea of what he even is as a defensive coordinator. He did what he did. He was successful in the other 2 spots where he had that job. He's been very unsuccessful doing it in Jacksonville to this point, and I don't think that's because he doesn't have pieces to allow him to have some kind of success, but it hadn't happened yet. But it's too new for me to be all that mad at him at this point in time. Certainly the least anger I have of the four names that we put out here.
Don your powdered wig in there, Honorable Barrister Dylan Denmark, and make a case for Ryan Nielsen as the best performer.
I will say within his last 3 games, the red zone defense has improved drastically. They're ranked 3rd in the NFL. They've given up 1 touchdown for every 3 drives in his last 3 games. Unlike the offense, the defense has gotten better, I would say. From a points perspective, even though I kind of sound dumb when I say that because the Green Bay scored 30 and Philly scored 28. But Philly, you were down 22-0, but you hold them to not scoring a 2-point conversion. So you basically got 6 points out of that.
Solve the tush push.
You solved the tush push. You hold
Your defense scored in that game.
Your defense scored in that game, and you held them on a 4th and 1 to give the offense back the ball. You hold Minnesota to 12 points, and you had, 2 interceptions in the red zone, I think it was. I think Nielsen, they're trending in the right direction, I will say, for the defense.
All right, general trend in the right direction. Tony's like, I haven't been sick of him because we haven't had him around for that many years. Yeah. And, all right. So there you go.
It's kind of making a case against the other 3 clients here.
In part, right? That's
I get
part of it, right?
But, yeah, I mean.
But part of this specific question is the best job in 2024. So anything they did prior to this, if you could possibly compartmentalize, you know what I mean? Like whatever you feel about how the offense ran last year or any mistakes that Trent Baalke may have made in the past, we're talking about the calendar year of 2024, right? And that's all Ryan Nielsen has to go on. So that's his resume here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ryan Nielsen right now getting 36.7% of the vote for the best job in 2024. I'll just note that the Jaguars are allowing the most yards per game of any defense in the National Football League. That would place them dead ass last in the NFL. So that might be a counterpoint. But anyway, we're trying to make the case for all these guys. So there's Ryan Nielsen, and many of you, and I do think there's a lot of recency bias in this, right? And Dylan's case is, hey, recency bias is valid because as the season goes on, you want to be improving, and they are coming off arguably their best performance despite allowing a lot of yards. They didn't allow a lot of points. They created turnovers, created a little bit of havoc on that side of the ball. Did a good job not allowing touchdowns in the red zone. Touchstones in the red zone. All right, so we'll come back and we'll continue to try to make the case for the others. Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor as well. You can vote. Heck, you can vote in a lot of ways. You can get on the line at 641-1010 on the Garber Automobile phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, or hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Wasn't sure it was coming, but it did. All right, so we'll try to go rapidly through the cases for the other guys when we come back on the other side. Let you know where your votes stand. Over 400 of you have voted despite a lot of abstentions today. A lot of people saying, nope, not going to participate in this one. I'm not going to help you out on this front at all. We're not trying to stump for anybody. I'm curious what the Jaguar fandom's opinion is in terms of where you put more blame for this team and where you grudgingly give more credit as well. And it's a comparison. Somebody said earlier, it's like saying, who had the best F? Well, if I got a 59 and you got a 37, I had the best F. Okay, so it's pretty simple, right? There are degrees of bad, but that's not the question today. Who's done the best job in 2024? And you can do it directly in comparison to the others. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you spend a lot of time talking about diamonds, but what about some of the colored stones we see?
Frank, when you talk about colored stones, there are literally hundreds of varieties and species in the gem kingdom.
As certified gemologists, we're trained gemologically on the identification of each of these and can separate the man-made synthetics and imitations from the real thing. But at Underwoods, we can go to the next step. At Underwoods, we're active buyers of loose-colored stones in the world markets, so we have an understanding of the values of colored stones as they relate back to the various qualities. In fact, just like diamonds, we buy most of our colored stones loose, then create the pieces of jewelry to hold the gems. You can be assured not only of the authenticity and quality of our colored stone jewelry, but also of the value. So if you're in the market for a fine quality emerald, sapphire, ruby, aquamarine, amethyst, citrine, tourmaline, peridot, or any other gemstone, come by and see us at Underwoods.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC. We got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
On Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Every Monday, David Garrard calls the signals and looks for you on Jaguars Today from 10 to noon.
Look past left, prong. Oh, ready.
Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com. Duval on 1010XL.
Is an injury keeping you on the sidelines? Whether it's your shoulder, neck, back, knee, wrist, or ankle, don't let pain hold you back any longer. At Injury Care Centers, they offer the same high-tech treatments trusted by the pros to supercharge your recovery without surgery. The road to recovery starts the moment you pick up the phone. 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins. 354-5645.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, it's Prosper here, and if you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis, express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today. You won't make a house payment till 2025. 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo was a guest this morning of The Drill and shared with Dan Hicken his thoughts on the Hall of Fame candidacy of Jaguars legend Tom Coughlin.
I remember looking at other coaches that have been in the Hall of Fame, and I just think he's as good, if not better, than some that are there. I mean, he's brought 2 different franchises to conference championship games, been in 2 Super Bowls and won them, and he's the ultimate leader. I mean, I think to a man, anybody that's worked for him or played for him will tell you that. And as passionate as they get. So to me, if anybody's deserving, it's got to be Tom Coughlin.
Steve Spagnuolo on The Drill. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
And considering how many people have replied saying, I'm not going to participate in this nonsense, got a pretty robust poll going right here. We'll have well over 500 votes, it looks like, by the end of the show, if not the end of the hour, which is pretty good in the short amount of time this has been up. Which of these members of the Jaguars organization has done the best job this year? Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, Ryan Nielsen tried to make a case for Ryan Nielsen, or at least some bullet point items that we would highlight in our case for why he may have done the best job. And again, he's getting the second most votes in this. Go to the other end of the spectrum, Tony. Press Taylor's getting the fewest votes in this so far. And, Hicken said this morning, I bet Press might win this. I'm like, no. I taking a peek at the first couple hundred votes. No chance.
Yeah.
Less than 5% of people think he's doing the best job for this football team. And, I get it. I'm not saying any of these guys are doing a great job, but in a relative comparison, if I'm Press looking at this poll, I'm like, the hell are you guys looking at?
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, I think it answers something, but.
What do you think it answers?
I think it answers how directly Press Taylor is connected to Doug Peterson. And I think a lot of the fans that it's because of that connection between those two guys, it's voting for one is voting for the other. Essentially, as far as who's doing the worst job, to some degree. I think I probably put Doug a little bit higher on my frustration level with one of those two guys this year, but I do think those two are so directly connected that a vote for one is kind of voting for the other as doing the worst job, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine, but again, we're voting for the best.
We're separating it out, I think. And so in light of that, I don't think anyone can make a case that anything on offense has been the best anything.
I certainly can understand that. But at the same time, you can look at the best as the least worst, right? And
I get it.
So if I'm Press Taylor, or if I'm Press Taylor's lawyer,
yes,
I am putting forth that, bro, I'm just going for the steak knives here, okay? I am just, but I don't get a shot at the Cadillac Eldorado, but I do not understand how you're voting for Ryan Nielsen over me. Jags are dead last in terms of yards allowed. Well, they're 25th in yards gained. Not great.
No.
But that's better, right? The Jags have outscored on average like 11 teams this year, right? They're like 12th from the bottom in terms of points per game, about 20. The Jags have only allowed fewer points than 5 teams. So the defense has been objectively worse compared to your peers around the National Football League. And the other major point for Press Taylor, I'm just doing what the head coach is asking me to do. It's his offense, and I'm trying to put it out there, and he keeps saying I'm doing exactly like he is requesting of me to do with this football team.
Yeah, the old, this is who it could conceivably be that you're actually looking for, the person who may have committed this crime. This is who this actually could be. Like, presenting that as an argument in trial, it's not a bad one, right? If you have legit evidence that it might be.
Here's another culprit.
Right, like that kind of thing. Like, that's not the worst idea, and I do think that's a pretty good defense of Press Taylor in this. I think While I don't look forward to hearing from Press Taylor every week, he doesn't annoy me when I hear his voice.
Okay.
Right? Like, he's not to that level yet. I don't get annoyed when I hear
Whose
him.
voice is annoying you right now?
Doug's annoys me a lot. Nielsen to some degree, but that's because he doesn't say anything or answer questions.
Deal with these guys as
Right.
directly as like the beat reporters are like, Ryan Nielsen, say something, man. Give us something. Give us something juicy.
And the last thing I'll say for Press, and then I'll hand it over to Pockets, who says he has a pretty good defense of Press here in a moment. He has not said or done anything to this point that could be interpreted as hostile towards his quarterback, right? That cannot be said for the head coach. I'll give that to Press Taylor. He has not been even edging towards hostile towards Trevor Lawrence to this point.
So now we've established that Press's case is I'm not as bad as Nielsen, and I don't bother you as much as Peterson. So the steak knives are in play here.
Yes.
All right, Dylan, what do you got for Press?
All right, what's overrated in the NFL is play calling. What's underrated is the execution of the play.
Hot not.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the Dolphins game, fumble inside the 5. We all agree Etienne doesn't do that. They win. The Browns game, you have an illegal procedure. You score a touchdown. We all believe they win that game if it doesn't happen. That's on the player. You go to the Texans game. How many times Trevor Lawrence missed Brian Thomas Jr. deep? If you probably hit a couple of those, you probably win that game. And then you go down a couple of weeks. I mean, you can pick a point, a couple of these games, and it's all about the execution. What separates good teams from bad teams is the lack of execution. And if the Jaguars had executed early, they'd probably start the season 3-1, and we'd probably be sitting different right now.
Oh, we would definitely be sitting
not
different.
bad,
We wouldn't. That is pretty good case. Maybe Dylan's got a future in this. You ever think of dropping out of sports radio and trying to pass the bar? Maybe. All right. Who do you want to do, Dylan, next? You want to do Balky? You want to do Peterson?
Let's finish off the coaching tree.
Okay.
Go with Doug.
Why Doug Peterson has done the best job this year. I think there's one main argument I'm going to put forth.
Okay.
Is that they just played 3 contenders in the NFC that they right now are clearly not better than. They're probably not really in league with Green Bay and Philadelphia. I think, Minnesota's got a good record. I don't know how great they are, but nevertheless, for all the, they're going to tune out Doug Peterson in this locker room. There's a revolt, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
Right?
Hadn't showed up on field like that.
Right. They have, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't expect that. That should be like a bare minimum, but it isn't always, right? And teams do check out on their head coach, and they do check out, and I think that is a reflection when you start seeing guys, maybe pulling up, trying not to get injured, things like that, because they're thinking about their own livelihood more so than the good of the team. I think this team has stayed together in that aspect, and that is the strongest endorsement I can give for the job that Doug Peterson has done this year.
The Doug was tough for me to come up with some things here, but I'll say find a friend who is as loyal to you as Doug Peterson is to Press Taylor. Right? Like, he's loyal to the things that he is loyal to. I think they're misdirected in a lot of these things.
Would Doug vote for Press in this poll, or would he vote for himself?
I'm not sure, but he is a loyal guy in that regard. I don't think that's a flaw, right, necessarily in a person's character.
Sure.
He's a loyal guy to these things. He's loyal to the ideas of his offense. He's not going to give up. Like, he's a loyal guy in a lot of these directions. It's what led to him eventually getting fired in Philadelphia, and it's what feels like it's leading to him eventually getting fired here in Jacksonville. I'm with everybody in and outside the court here in Jacksonville. It says I wish his loyalty was more towards Trevor Lawrence or some other different things than it currently seems like it is, but he is loyal to the things that he is loyal to, and it's hard to budge him off of those things.
We're going to focus on these things because we're his representatives. We're going to ignore the other stuff because that's how you do it, right? Unless you want to throw it out in front of the court before the prosecutor can come and make a bigger hay with it. In your opening statement there, Dylan Denmark, your case for Doug Peterson is what?
I'll say they're still playing for him for thus far. I mean, when you're down in Philly 22-0 and you're really not playing for anything in the season, that kind of shows something about your head coach. And the same thing with Minnesota when you're down Well, you led most of the game, but when you have a backup quarterback in your team, it's still fighting pretty hard. I think that shows something about your head coach because that means they're still playing for him.
Okay. Trent Baalke. Tone?
Got deals done with Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines Allen this offseason. Right, like that's still something that got done. I know there are
Campbell.
Right, I know there are fans that are mad about those deals to some degree right now. You can't count me among those fans, right?
Okay.
I'm still happy they got that work done. That would be it for me with Trent Baalke, but he did get that work done.
That's it. Pockets, what do you got?
You added veteran leadership in the offseason. You got Gabe Davis. You got Mitch Morse. You got Eric Armstead. The team is better on paper in the offseason than it was the year before, and that's all I got.
Veteran leadership.
Yes.
What are you, out of the hacker playbook over here?
That's
I'm
exactly
provided
what it is.
veteran leadership.
I mean, Mitch Morse hadn't been bad.
Mitch Morse, fine,
Yeah.
but you led with Gabe Davis on that.
gosh.
All right, lowest hanging fruit out there is Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Trade down, pick up 3 extra picks, and still get a guy that we're pretty damn excited about.
Sure.
Right, and granted, you look at it right now, and you're like, oh, Mason Smith, blah, blah, blah. We could have taken, and I get it, right? And I say blah, 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 just because we've heard it all over and over. I'm not trying to disparage anyone's opinion. Hey, they should have taken some other position instead of Mason Smith. We don't know, right? Like, we just don't know. Last year, might have written off Tank Bigsby and Brenton Strange, right? And
a year later,
a lot
it's
of
all
other
right.
guys out of that draft class are performing pretty well. In fact, the guy we were most excited about has taken a step back more than some of the others, than Anton Harrison. But, Jarian Jones has played well.
Sure.
This year, I mean, we're focusing on this year, not going back to last year's picks. But I'm just saying, in the case of, I can't look at Mason Smith and say he's a complete bust at this point in time. He's injured. I believe he's a talented player. Put him aside. The BTJ thing alone, I think, is a good deal. Yes, getting those contracts done is a good deal. This organization, look, if you didn't commit to Trevor Lawrence, you know where you'd be right now? You'd be going into next year. And do you really want to be in position to draft one of these maybe quarterbacks in the NFL draft and bring him in next year and then flip Trevor for a 5th-round pick somewhere? And
gross.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to do that.
No.
So getting those deals done, I think, was important. Again, did he have swings and misses? Yeah, but we're not trying to build a case against Trent Baalke here. We're trying to make the case for him. Brandon on Twitter says, terrible question. No, it's a great question because it makes you think. Sorry that it puts you in an uncomfortable position to have to pick, the least offensive option on here. But Trent Baalke is not – he's got a plurality. He doesn't have the majority of the vote, but 45.7% going with Trent, 36.6% going with Nielsen. That's the one that's – like, I can understand the Baalke one. Like, and people are replying, look, I voted for Baalke. That doesn't mean I want him to be here because it's not just about this year. Right, this is all we're trying to do is look at a capsule, snapshot in time on this. No one is saying that Trent Baalke, when you cumulatively add up all he's done over the years, has a death grip on this job or should have a death grip on this job. We're just comparing these guys head to head. Now, I don't know if Broad Dog prints this out and brings it to Shad Khan and goes, hey, look, I'm the best here. I don't know how that works, but it's now 45.1% Baalke. 37% Nielsen, 13.4% Doug Peterson. Press Taylor's like, what do I have to do to get a set of steak knives around here, man? This is unbelievable. But that's where we're at right now on the poll. So you can cast your vote if you got a better case for any of these guys. We'd love to hear it. And again, tomorrow we'll do the opposite. And I think it's going to be equally difficult. Again, people are, where's the all of the above option? There's not going to be one.
No.
Okay, there's never going to be one, all right? For a number of reasons. One, we don't want to give you an easy out. Want to make the tough decision. It's just a conversation point. I do think it's for as many people grudgingly voting for Baalke. I think that, to me, that's the logical probably way to go here.
And us having the discussion is not to say we think any of them have done a job worth keeping it.
It's not like whoever wins the poll gets to keep their job. Not at all.
Not even close. It's just a mental exercise we're doing today and tomorrow, best and worst among these 4 guys.
Correctamundo. So that's where we're at on all of that. All right. So cast your vote or give us a call and let us know what you think about that or how devious and awful we are for putting you in the position to choose one of those out there. I'm still hoping for – look, I every week I hope they go out there and perform to their best. But reality is that's not where they've been for most of the season. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. John Oehser will join us for the second hour coming up. If you want to get in, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Lickety Split. Going to be in the 80s today. Again, it's getting into, mid to late November here, and in North Florida, those temperatures can stay up year-round. When your AC goes out, call Lickety Split. You want help fast, like right now, like Lickety Split. You're going to get same-day emergency service for your air conditioning. But not only that, your home's plumbing and electrical, too. They can handle all of it with a huge fleet of techs and trucks. You probably see them driving all over Jacksonville, just like I do on my drive into work every single day. 4.8 average on Google reviews. Online at licketysplitfl.com.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. He's mastered the art of incognito.
Charming, sophisticated secret agent.
His car line takes you behind enemy lines. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just cannot say enough good things about my friends at Pella Windows and Doors. They have the highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports still has Pella rated #1 in all 3 major window categories, so why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom, and be sure to ask about the latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows. That's Pella Windows and Doors on Phillips Highway, and tell them Mike sent you.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats every day, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
What's colder, the North or the South Pole? The answer coming up.
Filing any homeowner's claim is really easy with Southern Oak Insurance. Simply file your claim directly with us. We'll handle the vendors. It will save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The South Pole is colder than the North Pole, which is an ocean surrounded by land. The South Pole is land surrounded by ocean.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
The Young Guns wanted to make their presence felt early against the Vikings, and they'd get off to a great start in front of the home crowd. Thanks to a 9-play sequence capped off by a Mac Jones 1-yard touchdown, Jacksonville would take an early 7-3 lead with 3:44 left in the first quarter. The 70-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey, John, I think everyone in Jacksonville is ready to elevate their ride.
Absolutely. At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have stunning 2024 Escalades and Lyrics in stock right now.
And the great news is you can get a $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Don't wait for the 2025 models to come in.
Luxury is just a visit away. Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Not available with some other offers. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/24 plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all. Unapproved credit.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here. I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us. Imagine watching your favorite team in your new Lifetime man cave, family hangout, or Lifetime's version of a she shed. And now Lifetime is expanding their replacement window division. Make your home energy efficient with their Energy Star rated windows. Enclosures, flooring, and windows to fit any and all budgets. Visit the showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let Lifetime be your home team.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you today about having a grateful spirit. As we journey in life, it's so easy to take things for granted. But I want to encourage you to never get tired of thanking God for your blessings. Take time also to thank the people in your life who have and are helping you to become the person you are today. Don't go through life complaining. Go through life praising.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by First Coast Honda Dealers. The second edition of the college football playoff rankings were released on Tuesday night. Georgia dropped to number 12 and is the first team out of the 12-team bracket following the loss to Ole Miss. Miami fell to 9th after the loss to Georgia Tech on Saturday. Florida head coach Billy Napier remarked on how the vote of confidence from the university was and will affect recruiting.
One of the uphill battles that we faced, to be quite honest, probably the only one, to be honest. But yeah, I think it definitely helps.
Mike Norvell has a message for the Knoll Nation concerning the changes that took place on the coaching staff earlier this week.
I would say that this year has been unacceptable. And we haven't been good enough this year. It's hard to make changes, but when change is necessary, then you got to be willing to change.
At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
76 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Johnny O, senior writer from Jaguars.com, has joined us. John, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. It's Wednesday, mid-November.
Your eyes opened.
Your
blood was flowing. Your lungs were drawing breath.
And I'm told we have a blue river. Is that what it is?
Blue sky.
Okay.
It's beautiful blue skies now. New whole social media environment to play in.
I'm sure that'll never turn bad.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Look, as I said, I joined. You ever heard of Mastodon? I joined Mastodon like in the summer. Right. I think I posted once like, hey, Mastodon, here I am.
All right. And you lost 35 pounds.
And I lost 35 pounds like that. Like that. Thank you, Awaken 180. By the way, off the top turnbuckle, tagging in for our man Dylan Denmark, Andrew Gibson coming in to produce the second hour of the show. Gibby, was Dylan not up to the 2 hours? Was he exhausted after the 4 a.m. call he got this morning?
Yeah, he looked pretty exhausted. You were talking about just blood in your eyes. He had all of that whenever I looked at him about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, excited to be here. Wish results were better than 2-8. But yeah, excited.
Well, we asked you if you were coming off the top turnbuckle, what would your go-to move be? You went with the Stone Cold Stinger. Is that correct?
Stunner. Yeah.
Stunner. See, it's the Stunner. Stinger. Would Stings have been the Stone Cold Stinger? No? I don't know. I don't watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling since the bionic elbow was the thing.
Yeah, I haven't either, but that's more the Attitude Era of WWE.
Okay.
Back then it was WWF for those that remember. But, yeah, that would be my move, yes.
But so, Tony, you described that as kick somebody in the stomach and then smash their head into your knee.
You just destroy them wherever they're at the ring. It's essentially what he would do, and then the audience would go nuts. It's Steve Austin doing it.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell probably does those at practice.
Oh, yeah, he strikes me as that kind of guy.
He absolutely might. Got this one on. We're just talking about, John. We're making the case, and we explained to you what the question of the day is: who's done the best job just for 2024? Right? Nobody's saying anything like, "Hey, this person needs to be." Whoever wins this poll is the foundation of things moving forward. But Balky, Peterson, Nielsen, Press Taylor, who's done the best job. And one of the arguments for Trent Baalke is he got the contract extensions done, and Tony and I agreed we did not want to be going into a season where Trevor Lawrence is only under contract with the fifth-year option, and maybe you're considering, resetting everything at quarterback. So somebody say, hey, love the show. I understand what you're saying about Trevor, but wouldn't you have said that last year about the quarterbacks from LSU or other rookie quarterbacks, talking about the guys who would be coming out this year, and Jaden Daniels, right, for instance, that are playing better than Trevor's playing, so you would have been wrong. Well, if you took that one, right, I mean, who's to know, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know who's going to be that guy. And they said also, last year, C.J. Stroud was playing better than these guys include C.J. Stroud, who's playing better than Trevor. Is he? I'll ask you, just on the raw number. The win-loss can't doubt that, right? That's clearly in his favor. But that's a team thing. Everyone wants to say quarterback, win-loss is not a quarterback stat. So C.J. Stroud's played 10 games. Trevor's played 9, okay? C.J. Stroud, I had an easier page to compare these numbers here. C.J. Stroud this year has thrown for 2,371 yards in 10 games. Trevor Lawrence has thrown for 2,004 in 9 games. Pretty comparable, right? Slight edge to C.J. Stroud probably in yards per game.
But negligible.
Not overwhelming, right? C.J. Stroud has 12 interceptions in 10 games, passing. Trevor has 11. They both thrown 6 interceptions.
Oh, I thought you said interceptions.
No,
touchdowns.
The touchdowns, right? So TD to interception ratio, basically identical. Mm-hmm. Trevor's completing 61.3% of his passes, and Stroud's at 62.9. Again, one hot week, and that flips
very similar
back and forth.
Yeah.
Passer rating for Stroud, 89.1, 87.9 for Trevor Lawrence. They've basically been identical this year, but the Texans are winning games. Right. And I get that, and that's a factor, but so is their defense better than the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Last year at 8-3, Trevor was getting hammered probably by the same people for not having stats. So
correct, right.
That's
right. You didn't use that 8-3 to say, well, some did. I mean, look, it all depends to what you want to argue for, and you can use stats any way you like.
Yeah, and I'm not watching every snap that C.J. Stroud takes, right?
I was watching him over there when we went there.
Yeah.
He looked like a quarterback who is going through sort of that second wave through that pitchers go through in baseball, where
third time through the lineup.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
So,
teams learned something from his rookie year.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get through that.
Yeah.
But that's always the task for quarterbacks in their second year. You've got to who's had success in their first year, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know how many touchdown passes C.J. Stroud has had dropped. Right? Like, I have a pretty solid idea of how many of them Trevor Lawrence has had dropped. I have a solid idea of how many opportunities for touchdowns he missed, right, on throws. Like, that number for Trevor Lawrence, seeing that it's only at 11 touchdowns, that could easily be 17.
Mm-hmm. Sure, right.
On the
That's
season
a great point.
for like,
and maybe the same for Stroud.
Right. I don't watch him enough to know, that kind of thing. I saw him miss the one in the game where they played head-to-head, and he had a wide-open guy in the end zone, and he just missed the throw. I'm not saying he's doing that a lot every week. I've seen those kind of opportunities where Trevor has missed, and that paints your picture of whatever Trevor Lawrence is. C.J. Stroud, I don't have really a complete picture at all of what kind of season C.J. Stroud is having. I've watched him play a couple times and thought, it's okay. Like, there's nothing great going on. I watched him play in his rookie year, the times I got to watch and go, whoa. Right, like I remember having that idea when I watched CJ last year. This year when I watch him, I go,
Well, you can also you can make the case. Well, Nico Collins has missed half the games, okay, but then again, those first 5 games or so, Nico Collins is what you think BTJ is going to be in a couple of years.
Right.
He's been in the league for a few years, and Brian Thomas Jr. clearly has shown the explosive elements to his game that make him look like a future true number one in the National Football League. So
I think going into the season, a lot of people talked about CJ being a top-end MVP candidate, potentially in the league. He's not anywhere close to that.
Conversation's over.
Right, like that kind of thing is done.
He would join that group.
Right, and he and Trevor are right next to each other. Like wherever you're ranking the quarterbacks, they should be right next to each other. They're having very similar seasons. Both guys are.
So what's the buzz? We ask you every week. Just kind of, I know it's, they're off yesterday, and you're Doug speaking earlier this morning. So I don't know if you caught any of that live, but what do you say? Like Doug Peterson talked about on Monday, this team still has not quit, and that was one of our strongest arguments in support of Doug Peterson. It does seem like, despite the fact that the record's bad, they're playing high-level competition, they've gotten down in a lot of these games, they've hung around and continue to fight, even if it hasn't been successful on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the mood. Talking to Josh Hines-Allen on Monday, that's the best vibe you can kind of get. Taking it from the results on Sunday, I don't think they're as good as these contending teams they're playing, but they're fighting. So I think that's clearly what the vibe has to be this week, because you're probably playing the best team you'll play all season.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely think we have to circle the wagons and get behind Mac Jones and hope he takes a step. I think the reality of this game is they have to play the best game of the season to win, and they can play their best game of the season and not win.
Really, I think if you're doing a power ranking that didn't take into account record, I think Detroit is the best team in the league.
I mean, their resiliency. Just watching the game the other night, I was struck by Detroit, how Goff had 5 interceptions. They had some fluky interceptions. They're down by 16. Did you ever feel like they were out of it?
No.
I mean, and you always felt like they believed they were in it.
Right. I mean, I don't know how many times you can give more opportunities to the opposing team on the road, division winner.
Right.
Continuing
and that was impressive.
To turn it over.
That was impressive.
Look, and nobody's sitting here trying to disparage Kansas City. We get it. We always say all the time, the standings are the power polls in the NFL. And Kansas City, if they were in the same conference, would deserve to be ahead of Detroit. But if you're asking me who I would pick in a head-to-head right now, I'd pick the team with the one loss right now.
I could easily see this season playing out where Detroit finishes 15-2, Kansas City stumbles a little bit down the stretch, 14-3, and then manages to get in the Super Bowl and win. The Chiefs are sort of that kind of team.
I think it's going to be hard for them to win the Super Bowl. I do.
It usually is.
Well, look, here are the tough games that they've got. They're going to Buffalo. They've had I understand that, but they're in years past, you felt like this team's they're for sure going to come up with a way to win it. And maybe you still feel that way. I don't look at this team the same this year. I do think that they have kind of skated along and got by.
They skated last year at the end and figured out a way. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
They haven't blown a team out this year. 7 points, 1 point, 5 points, 7 points, 13 against New Orleans. That was a big one. 10 against San Francisco. That was impressive. 7 against Vegas, 6 against the Bucs, and 2 points this week against Denver. Now, Detroit, I believe, lost to the Bucs in the opener, but with Kansas City at Buffalo this week, you get by that. They're going to beat Carolina. They're going to beat Vegas, probably. Vegas tends to play them tough. The Chargers might be a tough one for them. Then they're at Cleveland, should win that. They have Houston in Kansas City. They're at Pittsburgh. I mean, there are opportunities for them to, as you said, stumble down the stretch here. But
so are they running the table or are they?
No.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to run
I don't think they either.
No, I don't think they're I'd be surprised if they're very surprised that they're 17-0 at the end. And if they do go 17-0, I think they're going to be like the New England Patriots and be ultimately disappointed and not win the grand prize. That's how I feel right now. Maybe I'll feel differently.
Smashing people all year
until week 17. Then
until that
their last game, and then the Giants played them toe to toe, and which was probably the worst.
And then the Jaguars played them toe to toe.
They did
right in the divisional round. It's like whatever that magic that they had going for most of the year, for whatever reason, there at the end of the year just didn't stick to them.
Well, probably like when you play 16 games and you're a team that good, 12 of them you show up, you're just like, That team has no chance to beat us.
Yeah, the Patriots that year had a brutally tough game against Baltimore on Monday night, where the Baltimore probably should have beaten them, and that was their hang-on game. And then the Colts had them down by with about 7 minutes to go, and the Patriots came back and won. Those were their two sort of tough.
Well, they 35-31, I think. They beat the Giants in the last week of the season because Coughlin said, I'm playing this straight up. Right? And when I don't think it mattered, I think the Giants were locked into the 6th spot in the playoffs. So it didn't really matter at that point in time. He's like, no. And it was the smartest thing Coughlin could have done because it showed his team that they could play with that group. If he had just, benched some guys and they lose by 21, who knows what their psyche is going into. Who knows even if they get on that run, Right. I think that kind of showed them how good they could potentially be. It did seem to. All right. So if you want to weigh in with Johnny O here, you're certainly welcome to 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. Your poll question out there on both Twitter and Blue Sky for the first time ever. You can weigh in on who has done the best job out of Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, and Ryan Nielsen just for the 2024 calendar year. So all your vitriol that you have built up prior to this year, you can have it, but it's got to be fresh since January 1.
Okay, gotcha.
Fresh vitriol only, please. So you can hit me up at MD_1010XL on Twitter or just Mike Dempsey on Blue Sky and let us know what your thoughts are there. We'll continue along. This is Jaguars Today with John Oehser in studio here with us from Jaguars.com on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Maybe, just maybe, tomorrow will be the day. Probably not, but it might be the day that I treat these guys in the breakfast bowl to some delicious offerings from Dandy. I don't like them enough probably to go that route, but if you like yourself, if you like your stomach, if you like your taste buds, Dandy has got some great options for you. Whether it's breakfast items, love their French toast, but they've got just about anything you can imagine that you could have for on-the-go breakfast. And breakfast is good any time of day, but they've got great lunch items, dinner items, classic line of sandwiches and subs, and everything in between. On the go, quick and easy protein packs, fruit cups, veggie trays, you name it. If you're trying to drop some pounds, watching your weight, Dandy's got your back. They're a local company, always using the highest quality ingredients, locally sourced as often as possible, giving you that tremendous variety I just talked about. And, of course, they always try to keep the prices reasonable as well. When you're hungry in Duval, Dandy is the name to know. So when you are, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Let's go, defense!
A good-looking defense does more than protect your zone. It can enhance your home.
Hey, this is out! This is out!
After the game, catch the superior fence and rail defensive player of the game on 1010XL.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Anderson. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, save 20% on your entire project. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay. Let's go!
Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at mackenziesrun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. mackenziesrun.org.
Have a group trip or company function soon? Mark Watson here with Hardball Creative. Get busy ordering the t-shirts and other swag you'll need. It's easy with Hardball.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Hi, I'm Chuck Farah. We know how important it is for you to have a vehicle after you've been injured in a car accident. So when we represent you for your personal injury claim, we'll help you get a rental car from the insurance company while your car is being repaired. And we'll provide this service at no additional fee. If you're hurt and you've got no car, let my team go to work for you. Farah & Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555 or go to farahandfarah.com. Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, I'm told I'm gaslighting everyone, Tony.
Plus, it's so you.
By just throwing a poll question out. Your poll question is pure gaslighting. I could never choose. That's on you. Sorry. Gaslighting. Psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and blah, blah, blah. So by posting this, your mental stability is in question? I mean, toughen up.
My self-esteem.
Taking a blow.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Right. Loss of
we
confidence.
spent the first hour presenting the cases for all four of these guys. And
They're pretty miserable cases.
Right. If you didn't listen to it in here, we were like, well, I guess we could, this? Like, if you could, like, we're not full-throated defending any of these guys, obviously. It's, look, they're the four people that are involved. I'm not necessarily
Week
for
10,
any
you're
of them.
2-8. What do you want?
Like anyone coming back and keeping their job, no, I'm not in favor of any of them being back in 2025. We're asking a question. We're having a
just
discussion.
relative to everybody else. Doesn't mean that won't all get swept out or won't all keep their jobs. We don't have.
And tomorrow, when we ask who's doing the worst job, you better believe we're all going to have 10 reasons for each of the 4 as to why they need to be gone.
You only get to pick one. There's no all of the above or none of the above or whatever the case. It's just.
You know what that poll is? More gaslighting.
It's just pure gaslighting. Somebody on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 1,000% chance that Broad Dog is literally printing this poll and faxing it to Shad. We're all trying to get rid of this bum, and this show is giving him ammo for his defense, which regrettably will probably carry weight with the owner. If you think my Twitter poll is carrying weight with anybody other than, the people who are easily gaslit, apparently.
See, they love me.
Oh, my God.
Look at this poll. They
Look at
love
this poll.
me.
I got like 40% in this poll.
Your
poll
worry
is
about
being faxed.
things. Don't worry about that.
Hey, whatever, man. Not my job, by the way, to jump on your fire somebody bandwagon and try to manipulate my social media to that end. I'm asking a question. How you answer it is how you answer it. Yeah. Hey, if 40-something% of people didn't think Balky's doing the best job, they wouldn't be voting for him. Okay? Not my fault that's the way the vote's going. Yeah. Could have gone for Prestel or Doug or Nielsen. It didn't. It hasn't so far. It's just a poll, for goodness sakes.
Yes, it is.
Then we're nearing 600 votes, which is nice on that one. 45.6% for Trent Balky. You know what? Send it to all your Balky-hating friends, and they can vote otherwise if they want to. I don't know what the big deal is, but that's okay. Balky's got I say Balky. The next year's GM will have a lot of money to spend in free agency if they choose to go that path. Just give me a quick, we're going to go off ESPN's list at the moment, top prospective free agents. Should the Jags be a player or not? And some would say, oh, yeah, it should be a player for everybody. We need upgrades across the board. Well, you can't have upgrades everywhere. No. And Shad kind of said we need to be more of a draft and develop team. That's great in theory, but you also got $58 million in cap space burning the hole in your pocket, and you're not going to sit on all of that. So part of it happens that you sign guys to extensions and you use some of that money, and they've done that. But let's start with top of the list, T. Higgins, wide receiver, Cincinnati Bengals. This to me is like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yes.
Give me T. Higgins all day long.
Yeah, probably out of the price range, but yeah, they ought to at least have some kind of interest.
I don't know. I don't know what the price range is. I don't know how much, like, at this moment off the top of my head, how much you'd save if you moved on from Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis, for instance. I don't know how easy it is to get out of Gabe Davis after 1 year.
I think it's going to be hard to get out of Gabe Davis after 1 year.
It may be, right? But still, you look at right now, you went into this year, rookie Brian Thomas, Kirk in the slot, Davis on the opposite side, right? If you went in next year with T. Higgins in that Gabe Davis role, a second-year Brian Thomas, and Parker Washington in the slot, I think that is a better group, or maybe Christian Kirk still in the slot for all I know. But anyway, T. Higgins would be a big yes for me. Trey Smith, Chiefs guard, is ranked number 2.
Sure.
I guess, yeah.
I'm going to say no. No, because the top of the market guards get way too much damn money now.
They do, and if you look at the whole list, they don't list the third guard. He's in kind of the also-rans. It's Sheriff.
He's the third best available guard.
He's the third best available guard.
How about this? Draft a guard.
Right. Like, this is clear as day. You look through it, that's the real option.
Or, by the way, Ezra Cleveland will be here to play one guard spot, and Cooper Hodges, if he can get healthy. I don't know if he can, but if he can, and maybe a draft pick to compete, I'd rather go that route. Javon Holland, safety, Miami Dolphins, 25 years old, entering next year. I feel like they need upgrades. I'd rather go Holland than I would.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about spending big at safety.
That depends, too, because
there's a bunch of them on the list.
Safety doesn't have, and maybe that's the answer. Doesn't have to be Holland, but safety is a position that they might need to look at.
For sure.
DJ Reed, corner, or any corner. Travarius Ward is next on the list. Those two guys. How do you feel about the corner situation right now?
They've probably backed themselves in a situation where they may need to sign one, but I would rather draft that.
I think part of it's going to be, like, how do they feel about DeAndre Prince going into next year, right? Because I could see, like, with Campbell, he's obviously got one spot. Jarian Jones looks like he's going to be a player. Do you feel like Monteric Brown is
I'd like to see
good enough?
Jarian, I'm sorry, get some work on the outside, see if he can do that. If he can, then it changes how you would draft that.
about Amari Cooper?
No.
Me either. 31.
Yeah.
He's reaching the point now where he's going to want ridiculous money, but I think it's declining level of play at this point.
I become more assign bridge free agents, and I think if Amari Cooper's a bridge free agent, it could cost you a lot.
He's going to cost, yeah, right. I think Amari Cooper, in terms of cost versus production, Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to be looking left or right tackle if they do look in free agency anyway. Right? Like, I'm not sure exactly how they would do the math on that. My gut tells me Anton's going to be the left tackle for the team next year. So if they do spend in free agency, it'll be more for a right tackle than it would a left tackle.
I would guess, assuming Walker Little's not back, I'd be surprised the first round pick's not a tackle.
Could be.
So that would be.
Could also be Travis Hunter. Could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
But sir, I think that's definitely high on the list of possibilities. I'm not looking to go crazy at tackle. We got to upgrade, or either if you're going to bring back Walker Little, or you got to find another alternative.
Sure.
But that doesn't have to necessarily be a 31-year-old Ronnie Stanley. Sam Darnold, no, we're not going to be in the market. Hassan Reddick, I don't want anything to do with this guy. I don't. I mean, he's a good player, but I don't know if he even fits this scheme, right? He's 6'1", 240.
We don't even know what the scheme's going to be.
True. We don't, as of right now. That's a good point. How about Chris Godwin? I feel like he's going to go back to Tampa, but I would much rather have T. Higgins.
Well, yeah.
You know, but I mean, that's if you don't get T. Higgins, would you want to be a player for Chris Godwin?
How old is he now?
He'll be 29 going into next year. I could see on a 3-year deal. I just think he's going to get good. I think he's going to get more money than he's worth. Like, I feel like T. Higgins still has a ceiling that has yet to be reached.
Just problem is, just about every free agent gets more money than they're worth.
Most do, yeah. Most do. I think in hindsight, Christian Kirk didn't. At the time, it looked like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was turned out to be very equitable deal.
Well, and wide receiver is the one position that we've talked about to any degree to this point that you've mentioned 3 names in the top 10, right? Like there are actually options at wide receiver, and I mentioned Sheriff would be the 3rd guard on their list, and he's more like 32, among the available free agents this offseason. If you're looking for interior offensive line, this isn't the free agent class to be looking. Right? Like, there are some spots where it's going to be hard. I think if you want to find a safety, you want to find a corner, there's going to be a bunch of those guys, it looks like, that are going to be available. And it's basically, what is your price that you want to get, for somebody to bring them in here? What level of player are you looking for? I think corner is really interesting with this team. We know Tyson's going to be the corner on one side. I think on the other side, it's pretty open. With what I've seen to this point this year, I'd be totally on board with Jarian Jones being the corner on the opposite side of Tyson Campbell going into next year, and that being their plan, and figure out what they want to do with that 3rd corner spot.
And it's really supposed to be, considering you've paid Tyson Campbell, so you consider him your number 33 overall pick in the draft. You've paid him. You consider him a guy, so to speak. Jarian Jones, 3rd round pick. He's supposed to go start at some point.
Absolutely.
And probably next year, and be good for 3 or 4 years. So
let's hope.
If you've drafted well, that's how it's supposed to work out.
All right. Just wanted to run through that about the top 10 there. Look, we're a long way off from that point, but just kind of
won't be the last time you hear the names.
No,
we'll be kicking
it will
them
not.
around.
And you know what? Some of these guys get franchise tagged, although I doubt T. Higgins will at this stage.
Yeah.
But so if he's out there, and that drives up the price too, though.
Yeah.
Other people know what he is and how old he is and all that. So I'm not saying it would be cheap, but you do have your top receiver right now, who I envision being the top receiver, on a rookie deal. So,
I should know how good a year is he?
He's been hurt a lot this year, but there's been some wonder too, because he has been franchise tagged. Is he like, if he had a long-term extension, would he be playing through some of that? Don't know the answer to that. I still think T. Higgins is a very good player. Regardless. All right, let's take our final time out here. Come back with some thoughts on today's poll question. We'll weigh in with our actual vote on that, and we'll wrap things up on Jaguars Today on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Blue here for the blue. Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists, and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday.
On Jaguars Today.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Garber Auto Mall is home of a lifetime warranty. Every new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Ford comes with a lifetime warranty. At Garber Auto Mall, your purchase is covered for life. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
The Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
If you're getting engaged this holiday season, celebrating an anniversary, birthday, or shopping early for the holidays,
You do not want to miss Beard's Diamond's incredible 44th anniversary sale.
everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 44% off.
At the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners. Do you need chain link fence, commercial steel, or rolling doors? Frank Franchi here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. So contact Coyle & Sons today. That's 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here, and today I want to call a timeout to shout out Awaken 180 Weight Loss for their 10-year anniversary. 10 years ago, Paige had developed a long-term solution for weight loss that could work for anyone. She cut through the misconceptions of lose weight, quick gadgets, fad diets, and medications, completely revolutionizing the weight loss industry with real results. More importantly, lasting results. Free support for life was and still is the backbone of the Awaken 180 program. 10 years later, 23,000 clients have lost a combined 750,000 pounds. Clients who've eliminated the need for cholesterol medications, blood pressure, and even type 2 diabetes medications. People like me, your neighbors, friends, and family who wanted to take back control of their weight, health, and happiness. I, for one, am so happy I found Awaken 180, and I know you'll be happy as well if you make the same choice. Here's to the next 10 years at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
When you take a sip of Bold City Brewery's many flavors, you're taking a sip of this Bold City. In Duval since 2008, they've been cranking out craft beer for 16 plus years now. So head to their production house on Roselle Street in Riverside or Bold City downtown and sample a Duke's, their legendary brown ale. 2 great IPAs, plus Duval Light, Killer Whale, and plenty more. It's all on tap at Bold City Brewery, downtown or in Riverside. Log on and taste the craft. BoldCityBrewery.com.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Dave Campo, on some adjustments the Jaguars have made on defense.
They've made a decision that this is how we're going to play. We're not going to give up the big play. They've gone from playing cover 2 in the red zone to cover 4, which I love because you're playing width instead of depth. Everybody was all upset about the tight end. Guess what? That's what they had to do to win.
Yeah.
They took away the explosive guys and said, look, if these guys beat us, they beat us. They forced the ball to the tight end in a lot of ways.
Dave Campo on the Campo and Joe podcast. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
I will say a lot of people seem big mad out there, not cooling down at all on social media about the question we asked them today. But, Tony, at the same time, I feel like at this stage of the show, when we post the question, this is better reply than we get for most. You know, when especially for a 2-8 team, we got over 600 votes on this, and
gaslighting will do that.
Gaslighting has its effect. You know, so in the last 2.5 hours, that's a pretty good response here. Before we get to our thoughts, our official thoughts on today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, let's let Tony take a peek around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
Despite saying a couple days ago that the Colts would be sticking with Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback, they have changed directions. They're going back to Anthony Richardson, saying that he will be starting the rest of the season at quarterback for the Colts. A decision has finally been made regarding surgery for Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. He will be undergoing surgery, missed the remainder of the 2024 season. Miami right tackle Austin Jackson will be undergoing knee surgery and miss the remainder of the year as well. Pittsburgh linebacker Alex Highsmith is dealing with a low ankle sprain that could keep him sidelined for a couple of weeks. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has classified him as week to week. Carolina has activated wide receiver Adam Thielen off injured reserve as he takes another step towards returning from a hamstring injury. And Las Vegas Raiders tight end Michael Mayer returned to practice this week after being away from the team for personal reasons since week 3.
Yeah, personally, I think good luck getting any snaps the way Brock Bowers is playing.
No doubt there, yeah.
But I don't know what he's dealing with, so, you know, nothing against Michael Mayer. Go on about your business. All right, let's go on about our business today with a 10-10 take.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All must vote. No exceptions, no exemptions, no. What's the other one I'm looking for? Abstentions, right? Abstaining.
Mm-hmm.
You got to vote. Okay, John? You have to vote. Must vote. All right. Join the 607 people who have weighed in here, Johnny O. Which one of these members of the Jags organization has done the best job? You know the candidates: Balky, Peterson, Press and Nielsen.
Look, 2-8, it's tough. I'll preface it with that.
Understood.
Obviously. I guess based on what you talked about before, there's probably some recency bias. I guess I'll go Doug because they're playing hard. I don't have a good answer.
Okay, that's fine. That was one of our, when we went around, we kind of played litigator.
I kind of liked when you said that, it perked my, and I was like, okay.
I don't think they've quit on him.
Right.
By the way, Doug said this morning, I should have passed this along the last segment. Sorry to interrupt, but Trevor's out for this week, but they hope to have him back after the bye. So all this, Trevor's shutting it down because he's mad at Doug and all that. Like,
it's silly.
That doesn't strike. Trevor's never struck me as that kind of guy.
Right.
Trevor's like, I'm the quarterback. If I can play, I'm going to play.
I actually got an email a couple of days ago. What is the fact that he didn't play last week tell you about his toughness and leadership?
He's hurt.
He's hurt, right.
He's got an injury.
I mean, at some point, the 5 games that he's played through in his career, when he was clearly hurt, don't count for people.
So if Samuel Porter doesn't play this week, he's a wuss because he's got an AC joint sprain as well. I mean, I don't know. Guys are hurt.
Right. That stunned me that somebody could think that.
There's that look, when it goes
Stunn's
bad.
a bad word. Right?
When it goes bad to the extreme.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand, look, this fan base hasn't had a lot that's gone well.
Right.
In the last 15 years or so. So I'm not.
Ish.
Sure.
Right. Ish. I'm not. It could be longer. Whatever you want to look. Whatever time period you want to look at since the late 90s. But doesn't change the fact that I think sometimes you end up going over the top with some extreme opinions. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater is an old expression that, just because it's miserable doesn't mean every single element is miserable or equally miserable as the others. Tony, where are you voting here?
My vote, I can put them in order of how I would vote.
Okay.
My vote would go to Balky because of, what we talked about when we were making our cases for the guys. Like, he is still the guy who paid those guys, and they're going to be around here for a while. He is still the guy who drafted Brian Thomas Jr. and got what he got out of it. So my vote would go to Balky doing the best job. I'd have Press second, Nielsen third, Doug last.
Why Press second? I'm just curious.
Because I do think a pretty good case was made, right, for the Press thing. I think a lot of how bad we all feel about the offense is a bunch of players not making plays when they've been given the opportunity to make plays. And no one's done a good job on this list. As we've said since we started discussing this, no one has done even a middling job, right, among these 4 options. They're all doing failing jobs, which is why I'd be in favor of all 4 being fired today, right, if they made that decision. I'm okay with all of them being gone, but just ranking them as to the job that I think they've done this year, I would have Press second, Nielsen third, and I don't think I would have answered it this way 2 weeks ago, but today I would answer it with Doug last, with the little kind of snipes being taken at the quarterback. That's way over a line for me from the head coach. Like, it's way over a line for me, so I would have him at the bottom.
I might put it in the exact same order. I really don't understand when you take the collect outside of the recency bias, how you can vote Ryan Nielsen doing a better job than Press Taylor when they're ranked dead last in the league in defense. And they're not great on offense. They're 25th, but that's much better than 32nd. It's better at least. It may not
7
be
spots better.
Much better. It's somewhat better. Dylan, who'd you vote for here?
Balky's 1, Press is 2, Doug is 3, then Nielsen's 4. Nielsen's the worst of the 4 to me because I had such high expectations. I thought this defense would do pretty good, hearing what he did in Atlanta, hearing what he did in New Orleans, and none of that has carried over.
By the way, these things can change, right? Maybe Ryan Nielsen has found something and I did say in part of the argument for him, he has shown the willingness to adjust. He went from playing just a ton of man to, you said, all right, best way to attack the Minnesota Vikings or to neutralize them is play a ton of zone in this game. They had a great game plan against Justin Jefferson.
Sure.
Granted, they gave up a lot, but we always talk about bend, don't break, and the bend, don't break, you can argue on both sides. Gave up a lot of yards. Yes, that's not good, but we said the idea behind bend, don't break is you make teams go on 12 and 15 play drives and that they can't execute at that high a level that
and
many
at some
times.
point in that drive, they're going to have a mistake.
And when they do, you got to capitalize on it. So
And
from
they
that
did.
standpoint, that's what they were able to do.
Bend, don't break, I think is the best they can do this
don't
year.
break the other day.
Yeah.
I'd vote for Trent here as well. And again, nobody's saying that this means there shouldn't be a house cleaning here.
No.
At least not coming from me.
No.
But we're just, and again, he's got, well, like Ryan Nielsen, I feel, all right, it's only been 1 year. Like, I get it. You get rid of the GM, you get rid of the head coach, they're all going, right? But if you were just to kind of rank them in their totality of time here in Jacksonville, it might change things because maybe you'd say, well, these mistakes from past years come in. Then again, Doug Peterson may go vaulting up because he did orchestrate back-to-back winning seasons for this team, you know? So I don't think it's the most talented roster in Jaguars history, but I do think it's more talented than 2-8.
Yeah.
And so, you know, again, and I'm sure that's going to be a big talking point for Trent Baalke as he sits down with Shad Khan at some point. And, you know, if you think this adds ammunition for him, fine, you know, but it is what it is. It's just a comparison of how you feel. We've honestly probably coming in maybe fourth in this poll was I refuse to vote. Press Taylor would have come in fifth. But here are the percentages right now. 637 votes as far as I can tell at the moment. 46.9% say Baalke has done the best job just this year out of this quartet. 36.6 went with Ryan Nielsen. 12.4 went with Tony on Doug Peterson. You went with Doug Peterson, right?
No, I went.
You went
with
the
Baalke.
opposite.
I had Doug at the bottom.
You had Doug at the bottom. John went with Doug Peterson.
Yeah,
there you go. And Press Taylor getting 4.1%. So poor Press.
Poor Press.
It's like I don't know. Nobody's happy, and I understand it. All right, let's say hello to Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
All right, LB.
I do wonder, Mike, if you had put Trevor Lawrence in that poll before the Jaguars lost on Sunday to the Vikings and people saw how Mac Jones played, how do you think he would have fared in the poll?
He might have won it, just simply because there's so much. You know, there's a school of people that
There's
are like
enough anger for the other
we got to
guys.
move on from Trevor, but I think that's a big minority. You know,
Just a loud vocal minority.
Hey, yeah, look, every minority on
quiet
social
this
media is loud and vocal, aren't they?
Heck, it's funny because part of the reason I would say Trent did the best job is because he signed Trevor to an extension. Like, that's part of my math in saying I think he's done the best job among these four guys who haven't done a good job.
Yeah.
You know, but I get it. There's fans that probably would vote Trevor. Okay. Can't stop him from doing it until he starts winning a bunch.
All right, LB, we can't just run out the clock here. Who are you voting for?
As far as who did the best job?
Best job out of the quartet that we have laid out there.
I'm with Tony. I would say Trent Baalke because I think that there are players on this team that have a lot of talent. I just don't think offensively they've been put in the best positions, and I don't think defensively they've been put in the best positions. And so all of that falls on Doug, and then part of that falls on Press, part of that falls on Nielsen.
I do think it shows, just the power of recency bias that Ryan Nielsen has the worst ranked defense in the league. And he's got 36% saying he did the best job of any of these guys.
You also have to remember, Mike, right now, the vitriol that was against Baalke, and certainly there's still some of it there, but as the poll shows, not as much right now. People right now are so anti-Press and Doug in the offense. Like, even if this had been done the week before or a week before the Jags and the Vikings tilt, I still think there's just people that are so angry about Doug/Press and the play calling that they would have voted that way.
What's been better this year, the offense or the defense?
Oh, goodness. Neither.
Offense, easily.
Yeah, the offense has been better, but I still don't think the offense has been nearly good enough.
I'm not saying it's been good enough,
Yeah,
but it's
better.
a relative comparison.
Yeah,
I don't see
than the
how you
offense.
can say that the defense has been better than the offense this year. Now, in a given game, sure, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
Special teams is the answer.
Special teams is the answer. That's why Heath Farwell was not in this poll.
Right,
Okay?
exactly.
Heath Farwell would have won this thing going away. There's probably a percentage of fans out there don't even know who that is. And that's fine, because that's the life of a special team.
I don't know. They've been probably thinking he might get the interim job if it's not Mike McCoy.
Maybe he would if there were an interim
Let's find
job.
out, shall we?
You know?
Let's shake things up, please, so we don't just come in here and talk about the same thing.
Today was we got tons of great response today on this, and
Good job.
And tomorrow, I'll just tell you right now, we're doing the opposite poll. Who's done the worst job? It's going to be equally difficult for people to decide.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Trent Baalke wins that.
Mm-hmm.
I really wouldn't. I mean, he won best job. He might win worst job. I don't know. We'll find out. What's coming up today?
We certainly will. We will chat with Dan Miller, the play-by-play voice of the Lions, coming up in the second hour of the program, and we'll talk all things Trevor and everything else going on around here.
All right.
The wildfire that is Jacksonville.
Yes, we love it. We wouldn't have it any other way unless they could be 10-0. All right, LB.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Who's the guy? Who's the Hall of Fame defensive back for the Lions with all the interceptions?
Len Barney?
Len Barney, right? We had Len Barney on once. But this made me think of that because I've had Dan Miller on a bunch of times on Sirius XM. And during our media mock draft, we got Len Barney to make the pick for the Lions. I think they had the 5th pick that year.
Mm-hmm.
And Len Barney is like, comes on and we're like, all right, coach him. Like, you're going to have to pick a player. We'll tell you who's gone and you have to pick somebody. He goes, I don't know. I don't know who to. I just give him the best running back available or whatever.
I had no idea.
And no clue whatsoever. And I think that was the year, though, that they did end up drafting a running back. It was Kevin Jones, right? But I think they took him maybe in the 2nd round.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
He's almost right.
He might have been, right? It was just funny at the time. Like, thanks, Len. Lem. That was he was an awesome player, though, man. You go look
really,
at you
really
want to talk about looking back into the history of the game. All right. Johnny O, what do you have coming up?
I think we're efforting to have Logan Cook on the Ozone podcast, and we'll be on.
He'd get a lot of votes for doing a good job.
A good player. And then we'll have Bucky Brooks on the Huddle Up podcast with your friend, JP Shadrick, and myself at 4 o'clock today.
Tell JP again, thank you for his service. I know he had Veterans Day off on Monday.
He did.
So tell him thanks for all of us.
Thanks for his service.
All right.
It's funny.
All right. Is it? I don't know. I assume that's why he had Veterans Day off. Am I not right about that? All right. For Johnny O, for Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, that'll do it for us today here at Jaguars Today. D-Rock in tomorrow. I'm buying breakfast for the crew tomorrow because I sucked in the breakfast bowl last week. And, have your food tasters ready to go, Mr. Denmark. All right, that'll do it for us. Stick around for Helmets and Heels next